But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This is the only round 100 Thieves wins this map. Hi, my name is Keg. I'm here for the prognosis to figure out what exactly killed 100 Thieves and whether or not we can stop this disease in the future. Now, the goal of this YouTube series, besides me wanting to make more YouTube videos again, is that I want to be able to see from a lens of multiple different lenses, right? Multiple different brains about how these games function and what really makes a game like Valorant and frankly just esports in general very unique, right? Because you have to look at it from a lot of different angles. You have to look at it as a fan, as a player, a coach, a priest, a whole lot of different ways, right? Because 100 Thieves, they are going to need an exorcism. And look, historically speaking, Split has been a very good map for 100 Thieves. You look... They've beaten Sentinels on this map plenty of times before. They didn't really play it a whole lot after Masters last year. This is a map that they slowly have become to warm up to. Things have been looking good for 100 Thieves on this map. But it's also Game 3. But it's also Game 3 of a pretty long series. Map number 1 was a biblical slapdown from Sentinels. They beat 100 Thieves hard. They only won a single attacking round. The second map after that was Haven, a very different IGL ball game. But map number 2 was Haven, a very different ball game with a lot of leadership that needed to be made and a lot more calls had to be done. That's mentally draining, man. And map number 3, it just crescendos down into this mess that we see 100 Thieves win a single round. A single round. Right away, you can tell 100 Thieves are aiming to go for a very attacker-sided map. They have themselves the Breach with Boostio, Xander's on the Astra, you have Cryo on Sage, and the Tejo for EU. Now, the two most important people you want to look at to figure out how a team comp wants to operate most of the time are going to be your initiators, right? You have the Breach and you have the Tejo. In this current meta, you want to go fast, you want to have maximum information, and you just want to execute. And that's what Split is. It's a very tight cornered map. You want to make sure that you can take every fight you can get, right? Asana's on the Raze. You have a fast entry going in. You have smokes for Xander that could fake out teams in mid. They could fake out B main. There's a lot of mind games that you can use to manipulate on 100 Thieves side, but that's the thing though, right? You have Cryo on the Sage. You don't really have a lot of flank capabilities. You have Boostio, of course, the two initiators we just talked about. Xander still needs the smoke to execute for his team. This is a pretty linear comp. Now, the good thing is that when this team does go to the defense, and we'll talk about it later, you can spread yourself out very wide. You can find a lot of early info. Xander could go for aggressive smokes, help Asuna and Boostio take some fights, and things could be all hunky-dory if you can get kills. Now, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much, but considering the top frag for 100 Thieves on this map was 7 kills, it's not going to be a pretty sight. So right away on this pistol round, a good defensive setup from Sentinels. It's nothing crazy. It's pretty bog standard. Like, you're not reinventing the wheel here with Sen's comp. You have yourself a Viper wall that divides out these critical choke points. That's going to make Heaven control in the post plan for Sentinels pretty difficult. It's going to make it down below. You're not going to have a long range wide peek from any attacker's post plan that could aim down and take someone out inside of ramps. What you're doing if you're Sentinels is that you're congregating your team in the back of sight. You're taking some of this choke control from in between mid and the top of sight itself, and you want to be able to flood down from both of these different angles with your utility and make sure all these attackers defending on site are going to have a horrible time. Now, what makes this comp unique for Sentinels is Zekin on the Yoru. Yoru's meta right now, and he's really awesome because he can really disrupt any sort of set strategy an attacking team has. The key difference between professional play in Valorant and even the highest ranked lobbies, right, is that you have more predictability to play around as a professional team. You scrim against these teams. You practice against them. You know the tendencies of each of these players. You're not really facing up against new professional players often. And you know big picture, strategically, what teams like to go for. You know small picture, what a lot of them like to do tendency-wise for how aggressive they are, how relaxed they can be, the general beats of how a team operates. You know the team's machinery. But when you have a Yoru, right, a lot of that gets thrown off because you can, after a while, generally expect where these TPs, the gate crashes, are going to go. But Zekken gets free reign. He can play wherever he wants. He can play so aggressive. And motherfucker's Zekken, dude. He can take a fight and skedaddle out of there, go backlines, and essentially, on the defense, be a sentinel, like a Killjoy or a Cypher, and play very far back for information for his team. He could be that malleable. All right, let's get into it. Now, quick little history about 100 Thieves in Valorant. They've been around the game for the longest time. They were the grand finalists of the very first Valorant tournament ever, and they've been at international events, but there is a cog in the machine. There is something in the animal of 100 Thieves that is just so chronically ill, and maybe we can figure it out through this game. So, early smoke comes down from 100 Thieves. This is going to block the vision from any defenders up above inside of ramps. That means someone like Nere won't be able to flash. You won't be able to really stun and peek without already telegraphing how you want to play. This is good for 100 Thieves. Now, Heaven's going to be a main point of concern. No utilities come out from Sentinels yet. That means they don't have a lot of info just yet outside of this one smoke, which again, Xander on the Astra, there's no real limit to where you can smoke on this map. Could go anywhere. Now, a quick little aside, look how small this map is. If a little rank tip, if you're any smoker in this game, if you're an Omen, maybe a Clove, not so much Brimstone, you can smoke most of this map from pretty much any location. Like, you don't want to be in the middle of Guam, but if you're like in mid or sewers, you can smoke just about anywhere. And you can find impact for your team, which promotes a lot of mid lurking. And that's why you'll see these defenders in pro play double holding this location. Because if you have a smoke here and you don't know what's on the other side, that's going to be enough for a lot of attacking teams to bide their time and wait, and either wait for the smoke to fall and then push, or defenders that have to keep themselves preoccupied with this mid location just in case someone could sneak by and go to the top of A Heaven or all the way up B Heaven and lose critical parts of the map. You don't want that if you're Sentinels. Anyways, no utility's been used by Sen yet. Yeah, nothing too crazy so far. A good flash. Teho util. Asuna takes top Heaven control. I really like this play from Asuna. I'm genuinely surprised no one held this smoke location. I think that could have been John's job, but John's so preoccupied watching for screens. Smoke is down. I don't think through the Teho blast, Sentinels heard the blast packs go off. Otherwise, Zekken absolutely would have checked this corner. But no one on Sen plays in the smokes. Everyone's preoccupied on site. For 100 Thieves, this is a great setup for pistol round.
Starting already.
Great kill. Take Zekken away. You don't want to overextend here if you're Asuna. You have a numbers advantage. You don't want to give them a potential 4v4. This is good so far. Again, really bog standard for a lot of post-plant utility. 100 Thieves have held their ground so well at this point. There's a paranoia that comes by on elbow. That's going to be a great protocol from Sentinels to remove a powerful position away in the post-plant. John still has a stealth drone he hasn't used yet. So theoretically, 3 drop down from Heaven. He could clear out this location to help out Zelsis top ramp to take on this main area. And that would be enough to clear back a lot of information.
Nice flash, too. They could start flooding in now for Sentinels.
All right, drops are in. Everything is heard here. 100 Thieves now.
There we go. Good from Bang. Stealth drone not used by John QT. He doesn't need to. But it's a potential idea. Great round from Sentinels. Even after losing their first body, Sentinels were grouped together and could trade so effectively. And 100 Thieves, their location wasn't bad at all, but it was just the idea of dropping down from Heaven, 100 Thieves relegating away this control, top A Heaven, and the fact that they lost critical bodies in that spot did not allow a healthy post plant. I'm going to let you in on an industry secret. And this is something I actually didn't pick up on until someone in chat told me about it when we were watching this game. It's the middle seat. Bang is in the middle seat. Now, here's the funny thing, right? It's a Sentinels 100 Thieves rivalry. Bang used to be on 100 Thieves. He used to get fucked up by Sentinels all the time. But here's the thing, though, right? The middle seat is usually reserved for your in-game leader, the person who's making all the calls, the decision-making, the strategies. He is the leader of the show, the captain of the ship, if you will. Usually, that's John QT who's leading the charge. But before this match started, Bang, because he knows 100 Thieves so well, was the one that took that spot. Now, to me, that says a lot about 100 Thieves, right? Bang only joined Sentinels this year. He was on 100 Thieves for a while, and he left late in 2024, which means he knows the Sentinels experience. He's also beaten Sentinels on this map too, but he knows exactly how 100 Thieves think. And you might be wondering, has there been any innovation at all from 100 Thieves? From October to, what? I don't even know what month this is. March? No, April? Good lord, it's April. There should be. But if they're that confident that Bang knows the inner workings of 100 Thieves, that says a lot about 100 Thieves and how they work on the inside. 100 Thieves just lost the first round. Not a good spot to be in. They had a healthy plant. They had a decent post plant, but Sentinels again, their reflood. Celis' position here inside of mailroom kept a lot of control in case there was 100 Thieves members that tried to push up, which they tried to do. And it didn't work. But now 100 Thieves are like, okay, well, that doesn't work. So we're going to focus a lot more on mid now. Zekken is not placed inside of mid. He is focused again on an A exec, waiting to see if he can hide inside of this smoke in case Asuna maybe doesn't do the same thing again. But Zekken, at least if the smoke goes down, A Heaven can flash and peek out and swing. Now, the good thing about the Tejo breach setup is that you can stun here inside of mailroom, and then you can push and take away power positions inside of mid. So early stun came out. Zelsis was forced to move into a very back-end corner. Look at the weapon Zelsis has. It's a judge. He is waiting for someone to overheat in these corners just to mow them down. He's waiting for this smoke to come down too and play around it. This is not around 100 Thieves are planning on winning, by the way. They've invested so little. They have sheriffs, sure, but that's like a chocolate bar to this team. But they are feeding a lot of orbs into the Viper too. Zekken too. If he's able to be a part of this fight, he's fishing for a dimensional drift. This and John's stealth drone are the most important pieces of defensive information you could have in this game right now. At this point, this round's all but over for 100 Thieves. There's really no saving them. This is the first round that really matters. 100 Thieves have to win this rifle round if they want to keep their economy afloat. And look at this chicken nugget salary that they have. 100 credits left. 100 credits left. This is a big investment for the team, and if they lose this round, they are not going to have any money. They're going to be in a hemorrhaging economy. Boostio's close to ult. They may try to fish for this early orb here to get him closer to the Rolling Thunder, which would be a great way of clearing a lot of space top of sight. Start of round, look at this early smoke that comes down inside of mid. This is a one-way, which means now 100 Thieves, if they were in mid, they could only jiggle peek this corner, and they wouldn't really be able to get an angle on Zekken until they've already wide swung. This is good for Sentinels because now they can prioritize anyone swinging sewers more. They could also be anti-flash, possibly, by hiding around these corners, and it just gives them a little bit more control and stalls out 100 Thieves. The idea for Sentinels here is that they're on their bonus buy. It's their potential third round to win. We already know it will be. They have a Guardian for Zekken. They have Zelsis on the Bulldog. They're fishing for ultimates. And they want to kill 100 Thieves to get their weaponry and make 100 Thieves suffer on this attack. Because of how fast and aggressive these executes are going to be from 100 Thieves, the goal here for Sentinels is to play up into them. So even if they do go fast, they're not going to be able to get any space without taking a fight and potentially losing bodies in the process. As long as Sentinels can take some early space, any attacking strat from 100 Thieves should be hemorrhaged a bit.
See Boostio
Early
prepared as
stealth
the team
drone
catches
up top
anything.
heaven.
Now moving the fault line up
Does
to the top
not
of the
spot
ramp.
out.
Friendly hits.
Does not spot out narrate.
Austin is space.
Narrate for a good stun. A
Consistently
great
breaking
smoke.
the defensive line, and
May
the
have
team
come down a
following very
second too
fast.
late. Does not stop 100 Thieves from pushing in. Like this call though. Pistol round, we saw Asuna push up by himself in heaven, and it was a very delayed factor from 100 Thieves afterwards from post plant. This time they get past the defensive Viper wall. Spike is dedicated heaven, which is very risky. If we see Xander die, you're not really in a good spot to retrieve the spike. You're going to have to fight pretty much the majority of Sentinels to get it back. Smokes are down heaven. Not much has come from that yet. Could be a way to maybe fast track into B. That would be risky. You're close to A site. You probably just want to dump down from here. But EU's got to clear it out. Stealth drone was already used. Contact needs to be made now from 100 Thieves to re-clear all of this space. And they don't even know that the majority of Sentinels are back site yet. And this is just going to be a massive fight. Once again, fishing for Zekin to get ult.
Off the stairwell, didn't bounce the way he
A
wanted.
good kill
He
from
gets
EU.
down through the
And this is
smoke.
exactly what we're talking about, guys. Spike has been lost. Sentinels have reclaimed it. Your weaponry is so important here that you really can't play that aggressive. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. Everyone on 100 Thieves are chugging poison right now. Because if you engage and swing with flashes out of the wazoo, smokes to oblivion against you, right? You're probably going to lose one of these guns. You're out-utiled, you're out-armored. You really cannot afford to lose these 3 weapons. And you may be forced to a save. There's a minute left in the round. Yeah, and those 2 bodies are lost. It's up to EU now. He's got to save, but at this point, there's really no way Sentinels are going to let you live. They lost sight of EU. But look at Narrate's position. He's holding for the flank. Now, the casters keep mentioning protocols. It's very important to mention that A site's protocol heavy. Every team has their own ways of playing this site, especially defensively. It's really one of the most unique sites in the game because you can't really just flood in, right? You have to be hyper coordinated as a defending team. There are so many spots as an attacker in the post plant to hold that if you're taking a bunch of 1v1s everywhere on site, you're probably going to lose as a defending team re-engaging. So you have to have protocols and strategies of like, okay, this attacker space is taken, Spike is down. How do we get back on site and coordinate from there? That's why they keep mentioning protocols. Yeah, there's really nothing EU can do. He got 2 kills already. 4K would be nice. 13 seconds. There's really no way of him engaging here. Yeah. 3 now for 100 Thieves. We talked about how important the economy and the saving it was for 100 Thieves side. It's not going to be a pretty sight for them. And really at this point, 100 Thieves, they're just re-engaging again. Sentinels and 100 Thieves have a rivalry. It is not a pretty rivalry. It's like Sentinels and 100 Thieves have a long-time rivalry, but it's as one-sided as it can get. It's like having a rivalry with taxes, right? With the IRS. You really cannot win against Sentinels with this team. It's not even just one squad that 100 Thieves has that have kept losing. I skipped over the last round because it was another A hit. We haven't seen the left side of this map played at all yet. And honestly speaking, now if you're 100 Thieves, you've tried going A site 4 times in a row. Now would probably be the time to try something different. The problem though is that, again, you're in the professional sphere. You have to think about the mind games too. You go A 4 times, you're getting dick slapped around. Do you want to go B? It's probably read into by Sentinels. They're expecting a B hit at this point. Do you go mid? It's hard, because B site is essentially just a funnel to engage in. Really, the best way to go about it would be to split your way in. And a splitting would be like, 3 people go B main, maybe 2 people go B main, 3 go instead. That's a tough decision to make. All right, it's a default from 100 Thieves. Now, if you're new to the VOD review sphere, if you're new to Valor Esports in general, defaulting essentially is having a presence on every lane of the map. Early smoke comes down again. Really, really like this protocol smoke coming out from Sentinels. Again, it just makes engaging mid, especially taking a double swing mid, so much more difficult. I like this call from 100 Thieves. They're waiting for Sentinels to engage upwards and aggressive against them. Sentinels recognize that this is going to be a very important gun round for them. They're probably expecting, with a lot of lack of information, a way for 100 Thieves to make a presence early on, and they're just waiting for that. What I really like here from Sen is the positioning of Narrate. So the idea now is that John still has all of his utility. That's going to be secondary. There's actually a lot of different points of contact here. So a lot of contact plays from Sen. You have Bang, who's jump peeking B main, looking for 100 Thieves in this angle. Zekin's looking for a presence inside this smoke A main. He's going to peek it eventually. And you have Zelsis, who's also jump peeking around top of B main, waiting for either one of these smokes to go off and that audio cue for Narrate the stun, and then just a full util flood, info flood, person flood, fucking biblical Moses flood inside of mid. So very reactive from Sentinels to see how 100 Thieves want to play this out. They don't know what the 100 Thieves strategy will be, and this will be very telling. How does Boostio, the in-game leader of 100 Thieves, engage from here? Okay, so Stealth Drone is out. A smoke is out. Did we see the stun? We don't see the stun yet. Stealth Drone's out. Hey, man. That essentially hard clears it except for Xander. Xander shoots out the drone. They don't find full information. Sentinels know there's a presence A main and in mid. Ooh, but look at this, though. Spike is B main. That tells me, right? Caster Brain going off now tells me, okay, this is probably going to be a B split. Not a lot of utility has been used yet. I'm not sure where Boostio's stun went. I believe that was in mid to allow this team to engage further from male. Zeus is backed off. That tells me that's where the stun went. But because the Spike's positioning is so deep in the B, Boostio is looking for someone to push very aggressively outside of B main, take that fight, and push in. Anything for 100 Thieves to make this a 5v4. A lot of distance being made from Xander and Boostio. It's still a default. One of these two may have to take an early fight, and this will be the determining factor. Whatever contact happens first, it should be the opposite side. But because the distance is being made by this team already, Boostio looks like he might be rotating out. We might not see the B split. Oh, information mid, that's two. Aftershock made by Nere. Boostio's rotating across the world. And Zakin goes back to A main too. Very important. He still has a presence here. John, somewhat of a presence still. Stealth Drone's been used. Delay on A site. The majority of Sentinels forces on B, who are much more willing to take a fight here. So a call's been made now by Boostio. All right, well, we're going to end on A. We have 30 seconds left. Let's just try to capture this out. Remember, Stealth Drone was used. Not a lot of info gathering from the rest of 100 Thieves. They have to take fights to find information. John is still unknown on top of A. They don't know he's here. And look at this distance being made. 100 Thieves in mid are going too fast. They're going to try to wall things off, but Johnny can hear all of this information. Okay. They try to sandwich it. Zekin and John just decimate. Nobody clears out Zekin. Nobody clears out John. Unbelievable from Sentinels. People either love it or hate it when you mention it as a commentator on broadcast, right? But, you're down 5 rounds. You're in map 3. Things aren't looking good for you if you're 100 Thieves. Do you take a timeout? It's been a while since I last watched this matchup. I don't know if there's going to be a timeout after this round. Caster Brain and Game Sense Brain is telling me, okay, if I'm 100 Thieves, I got to take a step back and be like, what the hell are we doing? What is going on? You'd be surprised. Some people don't like it when commentators mention timeouts. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily blame them either, because you could become in a position where it's like, okay, do you know what the mindset is for these teams? You don't know the inner workings of a team like 100 Thieves. You don't know what the comms are like. Really, the best guess that you have is watching games like this over and over and figuring out whether or not, are they taking their time? Do they feel rushed? Do they feel tilted? It's really all intuition. Let's see if they go for a timeout. Timeout has been called. So at this point, if you're 100 Thieves, right, this is probably not a timeout to get your morale up. Again, you're tired. It's map 3. You really need to make a strategic choice here. You've gone fast 4 rounds. You've gone slow 1 round. Things looked pretty good until those final 30 seconds, and then everything fell apart from 2 players against you. Is this a computational difference? Is it just because you have one piece of utility to find info is that not enough? Zekken's hard to pinpoint when you only have a stealth drone. All right, let's see what the difference here for 100 Thieves is going to be. A very similar default from how the round number 5 lasted. Different placements for some players, though. This time it's Cryo to be a little bit more aggressive A main. We probably will see that early smoke. That's going to stop Asuna. However, look at Yu's positioning here. He might be able to get a little bit more intel inside of mid and take this control back. For the longest time on this map, Viper util was paramount defensively for mid site. If an attacking team generally had mid, they won the round just because they were able to grab these power positions, dude. They got the 38th parallel of this map. They could get A heaven, they could get B heaven, and it just made things really tough to retake as a team if you had that against you. But 100 Thieves have not been able to hold it well. I love this wall play from Cryo. He just wasn't able to find anyone in top A heaven. That's definitely a scrim play. I think for sure Sentinels have faced against that before and did not want to go up against it. Now look at the buys too from 100 Thieves. That is not pretty. They've coagulated inside of mid. There's no presence A main whatsoever. The wall was there. But really, these next few seconds are going to determine the round. The smoke is out now. Finally, off of this timeout, it's a B main push. If both teams get timeouts, right? If 100 Thieves takes a timeout against Sentinels, Sentinels also get a chance to talk to their coach. So you go A 5 rounds in a row. Doesn't work. That's fine. It happens. So what do you do here? You're probably expecting a Sentinels to be like, oh, well, they're probably gonna go B. They're probably gonna do something different. Sentinels don't take an aggressive stance. They don't want to risk fights early on. They have a pretty good idea, it seems like, what to expect from 100 Thieves on an eco buy round like this. They know the money's not great. So why bother taking what could be a 1v5 early, or just back off and give them some space and retake as a team? Sentinels are playing to their strengths right now. Well, stealth drone was out. That went away B. I love initiators. I love info gathering util. One for narrate. Armageddon's out. Oh my god. Hold on. We gotta go back. We gotta go back and see this. I mean, again, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but the space was reclaimed. John uses Armageddon in this round. They just don't want to give anything to 100 Thieves. John really didn't have to ult here, but it was funny. Probably for the memes. Everybody else got destroyed. And really, at this point, I hate to be the one to say it, there hasn't been a credible threat to Sentinels on this defense. He can use his ult. The scariest thing as a 100 Thieves fan to see would be, okay, so 100 Thieves just went for a timeout. That's fine. How long is it going to be between timeout number 1 and timeout number 2? Think about that. 5 ults available now from 100 Thieves. They have not gone fast for the last 3 or so rounds. They have 5 ults to work with. Asuna goes in deep. Good stun with the salvos. Zelsis is gone. That's going to open up A lot more. Bang also dies too. Huge picks. Zekken's got an op now. Stealth drone cleared B site. They forced out the gate crash. They know Zekken's nearby. Great ult dump, by the way. Very important round for 100 Thieves. So the casters mentioned how the wall's not there to plant. That's not necessarily true. We're gonna see that in a little bit. The mini map is kind of wrong about this location because this yellow area is where you're supposed to plant the spike. You can plant it just like right here, and that's where 100 Thieves look like they're going to want to plant. It's weird because if you're on the other side of this wall, it's Astra's ultimate. You can't hear anything. You'd be isolated. You wouldn't be able to hear if Sentinels defuse the spike. It'd be bad, but you have this like teeny tiny sliver of space to utilize for this plant. In fact, I don't know. I'd have to go and see. You might be able to start defusing the spike from the other side of the wall from this location. That's how slim the margins are. Almost good timing off that stealth drone. Zekken swung just a second too early. Oh, this wall's kind of nasty. So spike will break the wall. That's fine because now Sentinels only can engage from this one specific angle. just as the Cosmic Divide falls. I think some of this wall might be peeking on the other side. I'm not sure. It looks like it is, which allows John and Narek to break it early. Yeah, they can. And so this is a location for Cryo to take a fight. It's still very slim for Sentinels. They shouldn't be able to win this. John does get a salvo kill on Asuna, sure. But yeah, a great round from 100 Thieves. But I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This is the only round 100 Thieves wins this map. And it took them how many ultimates? It only took them 2 ultimates. Actually, it only took them 1 ult. That's not bad. This is the only round they win. And the reason why this round is won is because Sentinels are caught off guard by just the pure utility usage. Zelsis is caught off guard with the salvo stun, Asuna combo. We see a great Cosmic Divide, good post-plant synergy. It was a strategy that was new, didn't require a ton to be brought out, and Sentinels were not prepared and made their own mistakes. Look, I'm not joking. This is genuinely one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life. And I've sat through a lot of horrible things in my life. Car accidents, the first Avatar movie. This is the most competent round we see from 100 Thieves. So very interestingly, Sentinels go for a timeout right after this. This is not a strategic timeout, in my opinion. This is definitely one to just keep everyone's heads in line. Don't overheat. We saw Zekin overheat through the Cosmic Divide. We saw Bang overheat and take that early aiming aggression. This is a good timeout from the coach. So the call here is, okay, look, I know we're up ahead. This is a defense round. We've lost this map to 100 Thieves in the past. We know Bang knows the inner mechanisms, the machinations of 100 Thieves. Let's not lose that advantage and play very silly. Let's not take 1v1s if we don't have to. Play with the utility setups and play as a team. Casters bring up a good point. Only 1 ultimate of the 5 that 100 Thieves have in line was used that last round. Cryo, the Resurrect, I don't know when there will be a position to use that on this map. I think this is probably one of the hardest maps in the game to use it on, but yeah, you never know. Early Armageddon. Up against Zelsis. They are bullying this poor man. They're getting mid-control once again. They're remembering how to play split. And this is good. Early smoke. Smoke on smoke. Perma-smoking mid. Make sure 100 Thieves cannot get past this barrier in the sand. And look at this, though. Look at the utility usage and effectiveness between the two different teams. Because EU uses Armageddon, it's supposed to shove Zelsis away, call was made by Bang to perma-smoke mid, and because there isn't really a lot of flashes on 100 Thieves outside of Boostio, they don't want to engage utility for getting past this smoke and taking a fight. They don't know what's on the other side. Is it worth using a stealth drone and a flash to get past this smoke where there could be nobody or everything? That's a hard question to answer, because the more utility you use for this midsection, outside of an ultimate, which in of itself, you really don't get a whole lot, right? Is the less you get to use for the site itself and the post plant. It's a tough decision to make. 100 Thieves made their presence, they reset, and they're looking to re-engage on one site or another. A good solid 30 seconds for 100 Thieves if they can make the Armageddon worth it. I like this reset. Off the smoke, disengaging. They look to see if anyone's going to go for the extremity control. They did not. So instead, they go back mid, wait for the smoke to dissipate, and try to have a raw fight. Zelsis, there it is, that ult we talked about. Rolling Thunder in return. Absolute unmitigated chaos. Oh my god. This is really good from 100 Thieves. I genuinely can't believe 100 Thieves loses this round. How do you lose this round? 100 Thieves have every position they could hope for, right? Full mid control. All that's left is Bang. He's got 1 flash. John has a decent amount of utility. Guns are looking good. You have 1 stun to work with, plenty of stars. Really, there's no disadvantage 100 Thieves has. Okay, TP is out. Bang resets himself. 30 seconds left. 100 Thieves are dancing in between sites. They know the TP came out from Bang. They don't know where that TP went, so they're dancing between sites, the fake presence. Both players of Sentinels are on each site. As soon as contact's made, they're going to try to get one, maybe back away, maybe not even get a kill. They just want to back away and try to play with as many numbers as they can. Remember the Sentinels timeout we talked about. Very fundamentally different from the last round where they overheated, took a lot of 1v1s, 1v3s. Very different. Oh my god, John. Oh my god. So, alright, mechanical breakdown time. You double swing. You're right on top of each other. You always want to stagger these swings if you can. This was a miscomm from, I guess, Boostio. Boostio is behind Xander. Xander's not going to know where the breach is at. He swings first. Boostio should swing second. So then there's always a guaranteed trade. That's going to make the spray from John a lot more difficult. And then we see the util setup from EU as well. That's for sight itself. He is caught off guard by this. And then he's like, well, okay, I'm going to jump and try to, I guess, classic right-click John. Sure. Sure, man. Remember, no timeout was called. All right. So what can we possibly expect at this point, right? Let me tell you, as like a commentator, as like a broadcast talent, right? You know, these are one of the hardest games to commentate, right? You feel exasperated because it's like, what else is there to talk about? The Sentinels are just doing the same thing, small variations, right? Some rounds Zekin will play aggro A, sometimes he'll play aggro mid, sometimes he won't play aggro at all. It's really these pre-round reads from Sentinels where they swap things up just very slightly to throw 100 Thieves off. And they just never do anything with it from 100 Thieves. It looks like Zekin does die early here. Yeah, he does die. This is a good start from 100 Thieves. Good for EU. Smoke comes down. Zekin overheated a little bit. Yeah, again, like you have an outlaw. You're up 8 rounds. Like, sure, whatever, man. How do you kill the best mechanical player on your team? The best strategy, the best info gathering Sentinels has is gone from this round. How do you lose this, man? Okay, stealth drone was out. Did not spot Zelsis. I do want to mention, again, I love initiative utility. I'm going to harp on it. You're going to be sick to fucking death about initiator utility by the time I'm done. I'm in the ground, in my grave. Stealth drone is gone. Everything now to clear A site has to be gunfights from 100 Thieves. They don't have any utility to spot people out. They got to take a fight. Cryo is 18 miles away, still looking for a lurk. Which, again, Sentinels haven't done yet. But I do like this smoke. It does fake some pressure outside of B main. Bang smokes have been on point this whole map. Great paranoia too to fake it. Not clearing corners, man. It's just gunfights, dude. No one's clearing corners. No one's covering each other. Overheating from 100 Thieves. And I genuinely don't think outside pistol round, and feel free in the comments to correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think 100 Thieves have cleared this A ramp section at all. Any A execute. Well, it's timeout number 2. Each team only gets 2 timeouts per half, which means unless Sentinels takes a timeout anytime between now and the end of the game, 100 Thieves aren't going to be able to talk to their coach on the defense. It's usually a very, very bad sign if you take 2 timeouts in the same half. If I was a coach, if I'm putting myself in coach mode, I genuinely don't know what I would tell my team. Because they're not innovating. They're not changing their early round like at all. They're changing like their early to mid round strategies, as in like they'll have 3, then they'll either push up mid or they'll reset. And it's really just like these fluid calls from Boostio. And trying to react off of Sentinels who are trying to react off 100 Thieves. So there's like this big stalemate and nothing happens. Oh my god, they do the same thing. At least there's a minor difference. Stealth drone early A should tell Sentinels, okay, this is looking like a fast execute. They finally clear out mail. 3 players are on A. Sentinels are expecting this to be an A hit. Maybe for 100 Thieves to relive the glory days of when they won their 1 round. They didn't even win on A site. They won on B. So why aren't they going B? They only went B when Xander had ult. Okay, so stun should go B heaven. Zekin would be isolated. Narrate set up and ready with the stun. Oh, I see. So it's the stun and the salvo in the same spot. So they're looking to trap whoever's top B heaven. Bang should be able to shroud step out of that if he has that reaction time, which I mean he does.
I feel that
Does he? Re-clear from the stealth drone. He doesn't even need the shrouded step. Homie just jumps. So I guess the expectation from 100 Thieves was that maybe someone could be in this deep corner and they could be good for one. Otherwise, you just jump out, go over here. Oh, I mean, I guess it's better not to have like blood in my urine, but god damn, man, these games are rough. So all this action happens for B Heaven. The buys aren't great, keep that in mind. So there's really nothing stopping 100 Thieves from just fast pushing in sight with Asuna's ult. Boostio doesn't have spikes, so they've dedicated for B once he picks it up. A minute left on the clock. And then he aim duel second and loses. Oh no. They were just about ready to execute and now they have to stop completely. They get smoked off. So 57 seconds left. You have time to pivot A site. I don't think you have a choice but to do that. So flashes out. Salvos are out. Really good reclaiming of space from Sen. It's not even just one different iteration of a team that keeps losing the Sentinels. It is every single time. It is what, like a 3-to-1 ratio? It's actually ridiculous, man. But we're going to take a look and see probably the worst Valor match I've ever seen. And they know, too, that this is going to be a lighter buy. That's why Zekken's going for the Outlaw. Okay, Asuna's ult. 30 seconds. Rolling Thunder in return. A wall to block up B Heaven's pretty decent. But again, Bang's not clear. No util to scout people out. Contact plays. Asuna used ult. So any sort of leverage 100 Thieves had is gone. Another stun. Oh my god, this is miserable. Holy guacamole, man. Brother.
Oh my gosh. They just fall into the hands of Bang. He's happy to collect two.
Okay.
The close-up stinger is going to help for Cryo as he picks up another
I'm genuinely surprised here that Zekken uses his ult. I think this was a very expensive investment round for Sentinels for a round that it really didn't need to be. Because they know for a fact that this is, you know, a light buy at best for 100 Thieves. There's 10 seconds left. And even through all of that, right? Rolling Thunder was used. Zekken uses the dim drift. Cryo does have a Phantom, sure, but again, like, Cryo gets 7 kills in total this whole map. Like, I don't really think anyone's a big aggressive threat here, you know? I think they're just looking to style on 100 Thieves, man. It's another gun round. Is it even worth showing this? Okay, well, we're just about done with the attack. This time it's a little bit different. Asuna's taking much more forward charge early on with B. Very different from what we've seen before. Which is good. Good distraction for B site. Nobody moves because Zekken has TP. He doesn't need to. Like, my guy. The stun is out here. He just wide swings. There's no flashes. There's nothing. There's nothing. So then they lose A control. They go all the way across the world back to B. They don't know what to do, man. Yeah, they don't know how to get onto a site. They're just panicking so much, man. Oh, he is not a happy camper. I'm the same way. They're just so afraid of commitment. They're like my dad, dude. They're so afraid of commitment. All right, let's see. Not a default this time. Just a brazen ass push. No flash. No util. You want to hear the most aggravating thing about all of this? Cryo has had his ultimate this entire time. There hasn't been a position for him to use this Sage ult. Where? You can't when you're dead. Not when you wide swing so easily. Where are you going to use it? It's just nothing but gunfights. It looks like this could be a round for 100 Thieves. The Armageddon's out, though. That's going to even the odds. No, Asuna lives. The wall is out. A lot of members of 100 Thieves are very lit up. Oh. Just nothing but 1v1s, man. Dude. It's like mechanically each member of 100 Thieves knows what they need to do, but the coordination of utility has just been so off. The one round they won is when the utility looked on point. No other round has the utility looked good. Coordinated. And can you believe this is only the first half? Don't worry. There's not much left. Well, it's 11-1. Things have not looked great for 100 Thieves. Now that there's a Viper on the attack, major wall differences for the post plan makes things a lot more difficult for teams to re-engage defensively. The wall is angled a little bit more to give a pre-passage. The angle of the wall is slightly different now to allow more contact for people to cross from the vent side into A heaven. And generally it's about the same otherwise, just to prevent re-clears from the defense. Sentinels can do whatever they want. 100 Thieves had a pretty good
Pistol round.
they had a pretty good pistol.
Imperative.
And Sentinels are looking to do essentially what 100 Thieves just did. They're defaulting early. They have the breach contact outside of B main because they can use a lot of their utility in the sphere on the left side of the map. The Viper can control the Viper wall and wait to see if anyone picks up orb here or just lurks out. And they can just kind of control the tempo. The cool thing about Viper Wall, especially the fact that this utility from the Tejo is non-regenerative, is that once the stealth drone comes out, these walls can come back on a lot more because there will be no way for 100 Thieves to re-clear someone potentially lurking all the way up in A heaven mid-round without checking themselves. So it looks like this could be an A split.
All right, already getting spicy. The 1-for-1 here.
The lurk from the Viper's great. Zealous goes down.
Well.
This is looking good for 100 Thieves.
To make that 3v5 conversion happen.
The wall here from Cryo is also really good. He can get this upper level control if he really wants to. Maybe pop up like a gopher and get a kill and go down. They can try to break this wall. Oh, stealth drone. Cryo spotted. And they just break the wall. That's crazy. I cannot believe that. Also, fun little fact. I don't know if most people have noticed this when they play Valorant. There's a rogue banana right here. Post plan strategy now. 100 Thieves are down a body.
Tides have turned.
Plenty of util though for 100 Thieves.
Talked about that position so
Good flash from Narrate. Great timing. Stun on top off of audio cues from John. His comms are great. Aftershock 2. Boostio's just hopping around. He looks done with this, man. And this 1v1 left EU all by himself. So now he's got to fend for himself in a 1v3. He's going to go for it too. The mailman, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, like dude, what is the play here for Boostio, man? He's jumping around. He's baiting out util, which is good. He's baiting out the Aftershock too. EU just does not follow up. So what is the comm here? They're taking two different 1v1s. EU is just full out sending utility. Hasn't even launched yet. And Boostio is just full on swinging. With util, by the way. He had a stun and a flash available. He just tried to ego this. Brother! Sure, man, sure. It's the last round. The suffering's almost over. Asana's dead. So Asana trying to pull a Zekin and play aggro does not work. Stealth drone goes up mid. This is good from Sen. They have a lot of distance up here. Again, just the buys are abysmal. Flash does not connect at all. Does not help Cryo. I mean, it's over. There's nothing to say. These are just lost gunfights and mistimed util everywhere. You really can't do much. GG's. I mean, final thoughts, right? This was just not a good map at all from 100 Thieves. Mistimed utility, players just not helping each other out, no real innovation with calls being made. It was sloppy. Very sloppy. This was one of the worst attacking sides of a map I've ever seen. There was almost no coordination on the person-to-person level. Everyone just was doing their own thing for gunfights, and it was disappointing. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, this player should be replaced or that player should be replaced. I don't really think it's our position to be saying which players should be taken away from 100 Thieves or, kicked off the roster. It's people's livelihoods that we're talking about, right? Like, they're getting a paycheck. And they should be getting paid to play well. But, I just don't think that's a fair thing to talk about. But even then, right? 100 Thieves have never really looked that good against Sentinels. So you get rid of, say, Boostio or Asuna or anybody like that, right? I don't really think that's going to change 100 Thieves. I think they're still going to struggle against this team. Now, it's important to note that 100 Thieves do go on the week after and beat Evil Geniuses, so it's not like it's all doom and gloom, but this is an important match to watch for 100 Thieves. And, if you want to get better at Valorant, man, or just, unlock your brain more, I guess, or, feel good about your ranked gameplay, just watch this video. But, yeah, that's about it. I'll see you all in the next video.